Oh my gosh.
Sorry,
Okay.
we're a little late.
Technical
Technical difficulty.
difficulties.
When Scott's in a different state, it doesn't work so well,
Oh,
so smoothly.
oh my gosh. And I was like extra stressed trying to get things working. I had like the slide set all ready for us to like use,
That's
but
all right.
then
That's all
the
right.
wheel that we usually spin with, like that website wasn't working correctly, and like yeah, one thing after another,
All
but
the things. But let's
we
talk
are
about
live.
last night. It was such a good episode.
Well,
Overall,
hold on. Before we talk about last night, there is an
ah,
announcement that I want to share on this slide set real quick that got announced this last week while we were in San Diego that I just think is so exciting. So,
as is true.
we're gonna be in Florida.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
So, Over the Edge Celebrity Weekend is something that's been happening for quite a while.
Yes.
Our friend Danny Butler from season 36 went out last year for it, said it was absolutely amazing. So much fun. The
And
fans
we've known about it for a couple of years.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Last year, I mean a few years, and last year we were just like salivating, looking at everything, and we're like, oh my gosh, I like want to go.
Right.
Not even as a person. I want to go to meet all these people. Like this looks like the most amazing event. Like crazy that he called and said, are you interested? I'm like, Scott, cool. Be cool. Yeah, sure. We could maybe fit that in.
We might be able to sneak it into our calendar.
Oh my
But
gosh, I'm so
seriously,
excited.
like, so for them to announce Jeff and Pops, who got out last episode, we were devastated. We love those guys. So for them to announce Pops and Jeff are going to be there, Scott and Lori are going to be there. It's just going to be a lot of fun. It's a 3-day.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Scott.
Yes.
It's Lori and Scott.
I did notice Omar did that.
Amazing Race now. It is Lori and Scott. Okay. So take note, my friend.
The name of our team has officially changed.
Oh my gosh.
It's now.
Remember when you auditioned for Survivor, the first picture you put in,
not Survivor.
That's how you go.
Amazing Race.
I'm sorry. I have Survivor. Amazing Race. That's how it is. And so this was one of our pre-pictures that we didn't send in. And so now anyways, very exciting. Can't wait. We already have our charity picked out. Like it's going to be epic. I'm so excited. If you go on their Instagram page, you'll see a bunch of Survivor, other Amazing Race, Big Brother challenge. So many freaking awesome, amazing people. I cannot wait.
Yeah. And what's so fun about this thing, it is a charity event. So as I guess we're now considered celebrities, we get the opportunity to fundraise for a charity. And all of the proceeds that we, collect do get to go to charity. And it's a charity of our choosing, which is going to be a lot of fun. But then also there's all these activities that happen. There's like meet and greets. There's, like literally the reason it's called Over the Edge is they rappel off the side of the hotel from the roof all the way down to the pool area. And they're doing those rappelling opportunities like kind of all day long, I think.
All weekend long.
Yeah, all weekend long. But like one in particular, he said it happens like at nighttime. So the whole pool area is lit up. There's a party going on down there. People are rappelling off the side of the building.
I can't wait.
Seriously epic. And
so
one of the fun things about Amazing Race is there's these kinds of challenges where you have to face some fears and you have to do something that maybe you're not comfortable with. And so going over the edge, I don't know, it's just so much fun, epic.
So
I'm excited about it.
Yep, I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
let's talk about
the episode.
Oh
my gosh, it was so good. It was so good in so many different reasons. I love that it was a brand new country. I love how green and beautiful everything was.
Yes.
I love the challenge with the goats. Like that was hilarious.
Well, sheep. It was sheep milking, which I didn't even know.
Oh, I thought it was goats.
No, it was sheep. Yeah.
Oh, I was sheep. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyways.
There was such a similar animal. Anyways, it was sheep because they had little shearing stuff. Anyways, and then to meet the little old 102-year-old lady and at first they're like, eat this. Well, you know me. I'm like, I don't want to eat that. But then when they're like, it's yogurt, I'm like, oh, I could have eaten that. How freaking cool.
Oh, seriously. Like amazing. Like you said, first off, the amazing scenery. Like I think we would have been a little bit lost, not lost like Carson and Jack were lost. I think I don't know. Self-drive leg. Let's first talk about that. It's a self-drive leg.
Which would have been rad. I would have loved that. I drive a stick. I learned on a stick when I was 12. Like
Yep.
this would have been easy peasy. Like how Han and Holden had the problem with reverse because you push it down. Like little things that if you're not driving a stick regularly or an older stick, little things like that would come up. I would have been fine with that, been driving. That map was large though.
That
So
was a big map.
as good as you are with navigation, that map is huge. Now I did talk to Jack and Carson and they said, I was like, what was the main reason why, oh, my phone is off. What was the main reason why you got lost? There was a freeway called something that they had to get to that little town.
Yep.
And there was another freeway called the exact same thing, but it had like a letter in front of it or something. And so they took that one and just kept going away. And they were like, it was the other one anyways. But that map was large.
Yeah. I think one thing, again, you would have been driving, I would have been navigating. I'm great at reading maps. I've done the whole directing thing for like ever, but I probably would have folded the map up so that there wasn't as much map like blocking,
so
so you have a focus kind of area, on, because it seemed like the actual part of the map, when we saw how far out of the way Carson and Jack had gone, and the actual part that was the part of the map was such a small section.
It was small.
It would have been easier to kind of maybe focus on that. But
okay, so they get after they get their cars, they drive straight to an area where they have to choose between the wood.
Oh no, not yet. First, they
no. I was like, wait, I jumped.
No.
Yeah, they did
Apple
the
delivery
Apple thing. Okay, that's right. So I was like, I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Which okay, so did you notice Jonathan just put the crates? This is the thing. When you get there first, you don't really see what's going on. You don't really know exactly how to do it. He just did what I would have done, just put the crates like on, but then it was like wonky. Well, then after a couple teams had dumped their apples, you can see empty crates there. I think I need to go back and see if you could see empty crates. I don't think you can when Jonathan was there, because I would have done the same thing and put two in the thing, like the clue said, and then hold the third one. But he lost the most apples because the trays were in there all wonky. Now the other teams just like dumped him in, which I'm like, brilliant. But I don't know if I would have thought of that if I didn't see empty trays. But what they get to that place to dump their apple. What were those guys? Like, I'm thinking they're the guys that are hunting and like they stay all hidden. Obviously it's not that. What are they? Like, they didn't give in more detail. What were those things? Oh, they were amazing.
That's what I was initially thinking of at first too, because our kids love watching these different like army, kind of movies and stuff. And it looked like those bush guys with like the extra like camouflage where they were trying to like hide and stuff. But they were called kukeri. And I guess it was just some kind of a warding off evil spirits kind of custom in like the Bulgarian area. But yeah, like that was nuts. But I did notice, and I thought the clue said dump 2 crates into your wheelbarrow.
Oh, I missed
like,
that.
Again, I feel like you got to read the clue because I thought the same thing. I'm like, I think I probably would have put 2 crates in because it did say put 2 crates in your cart and carry a crate. So like clearly they were following the instructions, but I thought I heard the wording something about dump 2 crates. And I think that's why all the other teams
dumped them. Yeah.
Right.
Which made it easier to pull the little wagon, the wagon alone. I'm like, how adorable was that wagon with that one funky wheel? And it's like all wobble. I'm like, it's so like third world country. Like that's nothing we have here in America. Like it was just such a unique experience, even though it's like, just like grabbing apples or whatever, but I'm like, it was still a really cool, unique experience. And then to drop the apples with those people, whatever you said, was so cool.
And I feel like it was so exciting to see the cultural thing, and the infusion of that whole experience, like that's what I love about the Amazing Race is these awesome cultural immersive kind of experience. You can't buy that. Like you can't get 15 Bulgarian guys to dress up in those outfits and dance around a backyard or whatever it was for you to deliver apples, like that's crazy.
It's so unique. I love it. Yeah. Okay. So then
there they went to the detour, and that was haystack or wood stack. Now, what are you thinking we would have chosen?
100%. And I'm not saying this because I saw the challenge.
Right.
100% it's wood stack
That's
because
what
of
I said.
several reasons. You are 100% in control of that. Now,
Right.
is it going to be hard? Is it going to be exhausting? Is it going to be long? Is it going to be tiring? Absolutely. But you have 100% control. Just like the coconuts, you can put on 15 coconuts or you can put on 50 coconuts. You could have loaded that. Well, you couldn't have loaded too much wood because it was extremely heavy. I mean, even the strong teams were like, whoa, like it was, and you saw the things like cutting into their
Right.
shoulders. Like it was extremely
It was
hard.
heavy.
It was heavy. But you go to that hay, and maybe if it was like, find this big item in the hay, I still wouldn't have found the hay. The hay, you would have been sneezing. We would have been itchy. It would have
Right.
been no, thank you. And it's
Well,
3 stacks. It's not even, here's a giant stack of hay. Find this item. 3 stacks of hay. Like
right.
that's too much. That's too much. And maybe you could find it in 30 seconds, but it's too much out in the open. Like it's not the wood. You know exactly how much weight, you know exactly how
Yes.
much you can hold. It's bop, 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 2 or 3 loads, done.
And I
Done.
agree with you 100% because that was my thinking too when I was watching it last night. And
Yeah.
again, for those that are joining late, Lori's in Utah. I'm in Arizona working. This is like how we used to watch The Amazing Race all the time because literally she would take her notes. I would take my notes. We'd compare. This is actually the first time we're talking about the episode even with each other because I
I
got
went
in
right to
late
bed
last
last
night.
night.
You were
Yep.
already sleeping. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but that's exactly what went through my mind is like you choose the challenges that you are in control of 100%. If there's any kind of variable that you can't be in control of, you've got to steer away from that. Like they're creating challenges that are meant to be hard. The hard element with these 2 detours was hard to find, literally needle in the haystack kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Or hard to carry 200 kilograms. 200 kilograms is 440 pounds. Like we're talking a lot of weight.
A lot.
Like that's insane. But we could have done it. I think we would have done it probably in 2 trips. I think I would have been the one carrying it on my back as many.
No, I think it was easier for me to carry it on my back.
Okay.
And because I feel like we could have added more weight to the wagon.
To the wheelbarrow.
And like, yeah. And like, I think it was Brett and Mark, how Brett was struggling to get up and like Mark had to help him come up. I think that's what you would have helped me stand up because I probably wouldn't have been able to stand up, but I would have carried the pack, being a hiker and not having as much weight as you with the hands. But then I could also see me going, okay, come on, honey. Like I got this. Like, where are you at? And you're like, I got to put this down. Like Jack and Carson, like I don't have to put mine down. Like, come on, you can keep going. But again, you're in this zone where like you see the stacks of hay and you see the wood and you're like, and you're not thinking like if everyone had 10-minute break and be like, okay, let's logically think about this. Maybe more people would have chosen the wood off the, off the bat, but you don't have those precious seconds even to think about it.
Well, and I feel so 2 elements that came to mind. Again, this is the first time we're even talking about how we would have tackled this challenge because you were asleep when I get home from work. But 2 things that came to mind was 1, you're used to using a wheelbarrow all the time because you're like constantly out there gardening. And your height being a little bit shorter than mine, you're able to keep the wheelbarrow a little bit more level than I would be as tall as I am. I wonder if I end up dumping a bunch of logs off the front because of how high the handles have to go.
But I'm also a hiker and have heavier packs I pack. So I don't know. It would have been.
But again, regardless, if it didn't work right the first trip down, we could switch for the second trip and do it differently.
And been like, this is so much. But it was cute. Right when the episode started, or right when that part started, I have Robbie, my youngest, and he was like, oh no, this is perfect for Jeff and Pops. They would have killed this challenge. And I go, well, like, because they show the guy like hitting the wood. I'm like, well, they're not actually like chopping the wood. They're just like collecting the wood. But yes, they would have killed it.
Yeah, I know. I felt the same way as what
I know.
Star and G Gamer are saying. Like 1 episode early, like we got out and then they went skydiving. And that's literally like what I dreamed of being able to do.
Yes.
Pops and Jeff get out and literally here's the wood challenge.
The lumberjack.
Like, the lumberjack challenge. Like, they're not chopping wood, but still crazy. I think we could have done it in 2 trips, just like with coconuts, how we did it in 2 trips. I think we could have done it in 2 trips. Did you catch what happened with Nick and Mike?
that they had to go 3. But what do you
Yeah.
mean? I know, but what do you
One
mean?
log, 1 kilogram
Oh.
short. And that's what they kept saying. Like literally the reason they missed and got
Oh, they missed the
U-turned
double U-turn. That's
by Melinda and
right.
Erica was because they had to
Oh,
make a third trip and they weren't
oh.
hustling as much going back from that third trip
And
because
this is literally the case for every episode of
every
every
episode.
season of The Amazing Race. One decision, one taxi ride, one piece of wood, one something could change. Yes, if that would have happened, Jack and Carson would have gone home. Like there's every episode would be completely and totally different because of one decision. Last episode, putting the hand in the door, Jeff and Pops would have been on that train and Nick and Mike would have been gone last week. You have no idea. That's why I'm
Yeah.
like, it's so you can't sit there and struggle with the woulda, coulda, shoulda, because it'll just like eat you alive. It'll just be so heavy and it's too much. You just have to be
Agreed.
like, it's crazy to think how many different outcomes this could have been, because there really could have been, because so many outcomes. Same thing with Jonathan and Anna. If they parked where they were supposed to park and not in that little mud thing, maybe they would have gotten first place on. Like, it's just like, it's
So many different
so
variables,
many.
right?
And again, that's another thing why I say in the very beginning of the episode, if a team is behind and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm like, dude, why are you freaking out? It is the very big. Do you not know The Amazing Race? Like, you could be a Melinda and Erica and go to that hay bale. I found it. Boom, we're out of there. She had that same luck on the surfboards.
I
That
know.
first surfboard was like, oh, this is mine. Let's go.
Well,
What? That is awesome.
and I feel like, legit, the surfboard in our episode 5 when we got eliminated was like a needle in the haystack challenge. So I thought that was going to be the needle in the haystack for this whole season. And so I agree with what Turquoise Star is saying here. Like, I can't believe we actually got season 6's hay bales, like iconically searching in actual hay bales for a needle in the haystack. And then we'll talk about it later, but a elimination happening as a result of hay bales. Like, that's so epic. Like, that's one of those moments, top 20, maybe even top 10 of all time, having happened on The Amazing Race over 36 seasons, and to have it repeated in our season, like, absolutely epic. This was a good question.
And I feel so bad for Nick and Mike because they're such an amazing team.
Yes.
But how iconic. Remember, their whole thing is 7. They've auditioned 7 times. They made, like, last episode, they were in 7th place. Like, they did all these things. It's episode 7. I mean, of course, it's sad that they were eliminated, but it's 7. Like, all these 7s are lining up for them. It was wild. It was wild.
And I've been seeing this going around a ton on Discord and, Facebook and some of the Reddit, but it's that whole thing about, if I had a nickel for every time this happened, I'd have 2 nickels, but it's still crazy that it's happened twice. Like, that's so random and weird. But, literally this whole thing about a U-turn, screwing a team, like, yep, it happened to us in episode 5. It happened here in episode 7. But let's talk about this for a minute. And I think this is just crazy. Like, legit, Nick and Mike got U-turned and somebody was lost on this leg. Like,
well,
legit.
I think, I was talking to Jack and Carson about this, and because they left first, everyone just thought they've been in the front of the pack the entire race. Everyone just thought, they never even questioned where Jack and Carson were. They just were like, oh, they've already come and gone. But I can't believe they didn't show any of that as you're coming up to any of the challenges. Where's Jack and Carson? Like, no one said, Jack, where's Jack and Carson? Like, I feel like you and we were aware of where the teams were and where were we versus where were the team. Like, that's wild. But again, we can't say this if we would have done this or not, because nobody can. If you are running and you see Melinda and Erica right in front of you, and you're Nick, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, you're in this frantic zone, a race game, and you're like this, and you're like, oh my gosh,
survival mode.
You're put their name up. Like, if they had 10 seconds to think about it, probably they wouldn't have done that. But you're just like, oh my gosh, they're right there. They can outrun us. They can. And by the way, shout out to Melinda. She was running and she did good. She was a good little runner when she had to run.
She was
she did. Yes, she was my slogger. And I even messaged her last night. I was like, I was so proud of you. Like, you did it. Like, and then you weren't eliminated because she went out of her comfort zone and did something hard because she's not a runner. You go, girl. I love that.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like there would have been opportunities to count envelopes along the race.
Yeah.
But if you look at how this was laid out, the library came right before this. So you're
Yeah.
not counting envelopes in the library because you're not looking for other envelopes that are hidden among the books.
No, but
And
I think there was
then,
only one envelope at a time. I feel like when they panned it, they
no,
weren't
I thought I
passing.
saw a couple of different
You
ones.
did? See, I
And
gotta
I
go
think
back. You
so.
can never watch The Amazing Race one time. You have to
Yeah.
go back and watch it a few times to see what the heck is going on or what the heck they just said. But I'll have to go back because I feel like they kind of just like put one in there. Because I feel like they would like walk around and then get it.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll have to see.
So, reality TV fan wanted to know, do you guys wish you had gotten the self-driving legs during our time on the show?
Oh, 100%. That was something I was ecstatic for because taxi drivers may or may not know where they're going, may or may not need gas, may or may not need this or that or the other. When I can drive, I can drive. Like I will get us there. Scott is amazing with maps and directions.
Right.
And he would have been like he said earlier, he would have taken that humongous map and been like, fold, 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 fold. And like, that's what I have to work with. And I wouldn't have been like just driving crazy. He would have been like, okay, Lori, third light, take a left, do this way. Like he would have been very precise. I'm a very quick defensive driver. I would have gotten there. I feel like we would have done awesome with the driving, but
Yeah.
who knows? We'll never know.
So let's talk about the Jonathan and Anna thing with getting the car stuck.
Oh my gosh.
Devastating. Like again, when you're
Devastating.
frustrated in the moment and it's outside your control and you're
Yeah.
feeling like you're doing everything you
Yeah,
can.
it's not. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's not like a challenge where you're like, I'm struggling at this challenge. You're like, wait a minute, this has literally nothing to do with the race, and now I have this challenge. So they actually had an additional challenge
Kind of.
versus all the other teams.
Right. Well,
And again, this is what I loved about Bulgaria. I mean, I love that the other teams tried to help them for a little bit of time, but then it was the people. It was the people of that area that came out and like helped with the twigs and helped push and then pulled them out. I was just like, oh my gosh, you are representing your country so well. Like, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. This was a great question, though. And there's a few other questions that are similar to this that I want to get to. And it's this question about, I'm shocked that Jonathan and Anna didn't go back and try to U-turn someone at that point once they realized their car was stuck. I think people don't necessarily understand the mechanic of the game. Once you choose to U-turn or not choose to U-turn, that's your decision at that point. So as stuck as they were, at least they couldn't be U-turned. They had passed that point. They had already done their haystack challenge. As frustrated as Jonathan was about their decision to choose to do that challenge, they finally got out of there. They cleared the U-turn point. At that point, they can't be U-turned, but they also can't go back and U-turn anybody else. And then this person asked a question. DJL wanted to know, could Nick and Mike have looked in the clue box after realizing they were U-turned to see how many teams were still behind them? You can't. No, you can't.
I'm
the
like,
rule of the U-turn is, and that's what happened with Melinda and Erica, was they had to decide to U-turn.
That's right. They did look
before they knew there were a bunch of envelopes still in there, because Melinda and Erica in their minds thought they were the last two teams. And so they felt they had to U-turn Nick and Mike to give them a chance, because they thought they'd lose a foot race to Nick and Mike. And then as soon as they got to the clue box and realized there were three more envelopes, they're like, oh shoot, we didn't need to use the U-turn. They felt bad. Nick and Mike in that point, they only know of one other team that's out there on the course, and that's Hahn and Holden that they just passed. So that's why they choose to, U-turn, Hahn and Holden. And as they're running back to do their U-turn and they pass Hahn and Holden, they're like, hey guys.
But if Melinda and Erica go in and look and be like, oh crap, and we're standing right there, can we say how many envelopes are in there? And they're like 4 or whatever. You could do that.
Correct.
If you can remember. Again, you're in race zone.
if Melinda and Erica would tell you, which I think they probably would have, because they would have felt bad.
Yeah.
At that point, they'd already used it. They're not changing their mind. And I don't know if Nick and Mike know enough about who else might be out there to risk not U-turning.
I think they just thought it was Hahn and Holden.
Absolutely know is on the race, right? So I think the events still play out what it was.
Yeah.
And Carson and Jack just had the most amazing luck.
They had the worst luck and the most amazing luck possible together. Yeah. But did you notice when Jonathan and Anna got to the U-turn, they were like, nobody used it. Like they didn't want to, I felt like they didn't want to use it because they didn't want to put a target on their back like what happened last time. But they were like, they wanted someone to use it because they want that gameplay and they want, stuff to go on. Not necessarily drama, but they want the more of
Right.
the
The
what's
the stress, the
yes, just of
excitement.
like,
Yeah.
oh, I got to do this. Yeah, more strategic of that. But he
Right.
was like, nobody, like, he seemed a little surprised, like, nobody used it. Like, what the?
Yeah, I think that there's always element, and I think that's the gamer in me likes watching the strategy behind the architecture of a leg. Like,
Yeah.
did they intentionally decide to not do a clue box in front of the library and hide the clues because they knew people would be trying to count how many teams are behind or
Yeah.
where they're at?
I
Like
don't
at
know.
this point in that race, no one knew Jack and Carson weren't at the front of the pack, you know?
Yeah.
And so for Nick and Mike to be there for like 3 hours, like literally we know it was 3 hours because Jack and Carson knew that's how far out of the way they were from
Yep.
their travel, and then for them to go complete, and they did 3 different going and coming with the wood, and Nick and Mike are watching them on that road
Oh,
go and come back and
yeah.
go and come back and
And
go and
Jack
come
and
back.
Carson, love them. They are not strong. They are
No,
very tiny men. And it was very taxing and very difficult. I mean, it was, no matter what, it was hard for anybody to do this, but it was extremely hard and taxing on them. Like, you could tell, like, he was like he said, hunched over like Notre Dame because it was so hard.
so heavy, so hard,
Yeah.
and hot. I mean, it
And
was going to
well,
be,
maybe not as hot as it was in
yeah. But I think they made a smart strategic play. I think what you notice Carson and Jack do, and I think this is why they're such a good team, they initially go to the haystack because they know that's where the other team is, and not knowing where the other one is, at least they can keep an eye on the other team. But then when they realized it could be one of any 3 of their hay bales,
right.
and they're stuck, they realize, you know what? There's another task, as hard as it might be. At least
Yeah.
we're in control of that one. Let's go
Well,
do
and I
that one.
think even Jack said, like, we could find it in 30 seconds or not. Like, it's too up in the air. Like, we needed to do something that we know. And so, yeah, they took off immediately, which was smart for them. And they were probably wondering, why is Nick and Mike still looking? Like, why are they not switching? They probably were thinking, like, what is happening? And then
Yeah.
once they got to the board, they were like, oh, they were U-turned.
Well, and I wonder at what point they were thinking the same thing of, oh, Nick and Mike have been U-turned. We're probably getting U-turned.
Yeah.
They walk to the board, realize, oh, shoot, the board's burned up and
Yeah,
we're not on it.
they were
Hallelujah.
relieved.
Let's get
Yeah,
the
it
heck
was
out
so
of here.
nice. It was so nice.
Here's a great
So
question.
then, yeah.
How long of a time penalty would the brothers have had if they had just stopped looking in the hay? So the time penalties associated, if I remember correctly, if you skip a roadblock, it's 4 hours. If you skip a detour, I think it's 6 hours. So, but they would have had to start, like, again, it's from the time you decide you're going to skip it. So how long would they have spent searching before they finally used
Then they
the
changed their mind.
penalty?
Yeah, that's
And still they get probably eliminated or whatever. So,
yeah.
and then this question, there was only one of those things between every 3 bales. I thought there was one in each of them. And I think that's the way I heard it read. Again, not having seen the clue, but I thought it said it could be in one of 3.
One of the 3.
And you were assigned a group of 3. And that's why Nick and Mike couldn't switch to another group, because they had to leave that as an available option for another team to come later to choose. And they just had to find it among.
And isn't it like the worst when they like show them in the field and then they zoom in and it's like right there? And I'm like, oh, Amazing Race. You're brutal.
Twice they did it to him. One time they were further away, and the second time they showed they were like right nearby.
I was actually hoping they would do that for us on our coral. Like,
yes.
Which one was it? Like, I wish they would have been like zooming in on the one where we're all touching the other ones, and they but they didn't do that.
Yeah, crazy. Somebody said that they here it is. We didn't get to really see much milking of the sheep from Jack and Carson. I think at that point the editors were just realizing, like, we got to wrap this up, there wasn't a need to show too much more of this sweet 102-year-old lady who was super
Oh,
cute
she was
because we already
adorable.
got to see so
But yeah,
much of
that
her.
whole milking was, oh my gosh, how freaking
Well,
cool.
you're
Again,
doing that
another,
roadblock, right? I
oh,
mean,
I
at
would have
this
done that in a
point,
second. And I would have known that you get it higher where the milk is and you come all the way through. Like we have farms here. I'm from Cali. I'm not a farm girl, but
no.
living in Utah, there's a lot of farms here. I know how to milk a cow
Well, on
slash
your
sheep slash goat. Like
mission
I could
in
have done that
Washington
well.
State, didn't you do a bunch
Oh,
of service on
yeah, I
cow
did. I
farms?
did.
Yeah.
I did.
So I
Yeah.
feel like
So I
you
know, like
had
I know where the bladder is that is full of the milk to pull that down into the teat all the way down. Yes. But again, when they're like, you need to fill this amount, whatever it was, 1 liter or whatever, you're like, I don't know what that is in this bowl. So yeah, I would have probably done like half the bowl and then gone to see because I'm like, I don't know how much I need to get.
right.
But oh my gosh, that would have been such a cool challenge. And thankfully, the guys were there holding the animal. Like
Right.
those animals were like kind of erratic. And if you were
Skittish.
there by yourself trying to do it, like, or they were like tied up to a fence or something, that would have been like much, much harder to do. So,
Yeah, let's talk
oh,
about this.
yes.
How
Oh my
funny
gosh.
Holden was.
Oh my gosh. So, yes, when you're in game mode, you're going as fast as you possibly can. And so, yes, the yogurt as fast as he can. And then he realizes he's got beep all over his hands. I don't know exactly where or
Well,
how
he said he got it on his glasses.
oh my
But here's
now
the
he's
thing.
eating. Oh, he's so funny.
For somebody who's never milked a cow or milked
No.
a goat or whatever, you have to understand like that teat, that nipple like moves on you. It's moving flesh. And so I think as he was pulling it down one time, he somehow got the angles flipped where all of a sudden the nipple
Really?
and he even said, I don't know where the hole is that this is coming out of. Like he just didn't understand the anatomy of how this
That
whole
is
thing.
So funny.
But
I totally
yeah,
missed that.
yeah, he's
That
like,
is
it
so
got on my
funny. I
glasses.
just
I
thought it
got
was
it
at
all
the
over
end
my.
when he's eating the yogurt. It's like all over his face. And he's like, I can't wipe my face because I got poop on my hand. And I was like, how did he get poop on? Like, I guess leaning down where he's milking. But I'm like, he has poop on his hand. He's asked to eat. And again, you're trying to go as fast as you can. So you want to eat. But you're like, can I like get a tissue? Because I got poo on my hands. I'm just
Right. Can
it was so
I
funny.
get a cleanup on aisle 3, please?
Yes.
Yeah, I think Han and Holden have definitely been a very fun surprise,
Yeah.
especially these last 3 episodes. Like as
Yes,
we
and
see,
I feel like they're even coming together, brother and sister, like they're not bickering and arguing as much as they did. They're like understanding how to play the game with each other. I have the best story about them later, but I will share that.
Yeah.
It's like the best story ever about anything from the Amazing Race.
Well,
But that's later.
I feel like they're getting dialed in, like a few challenges that they've been really, really good at, like Han and surfing, like twice now. Like how epic has that been? But then also like they're figuring out how to motivate each other and how to like not get in that mindset. Like when we're talking episode 2 where they lost their taxi and they were frustrated with each other and, Holden's yelling at Han, pull it together, kind of thing. Like we're not seeing that now. Now we're seeing more of the supporting each other.
Seeing Holden coming back with Stefan and she's like, I don't even want to know that. I don't even want to know what you did over there. Like, it's so funny. Because they are totally separated. They have no idea that they have to go measure up with the old lady and eat the yogurt. They just come back and like tell them that. But Holden didn't tell her that. He just comes back with white stuff. And she was like, I don't even want to know. Like, I saw you milking that and now you have it. No, thank you. Like, hilarious. They're so funny.
Well, and that's what's so crazy is, the other partner sees them take milk back, but they come around the corner and it's not milk now. It's like what looks like something more formed.
I don't even want to know.
I don't even know what you did back there. Like,
I feel like they are the most underrated team. Someone said that earlier. I agree. And it was awesome. They did so good. It was so fun. It was such a fun episode.
Yeah. And I think this is a key. They're not arguing with each other anymore. Now they're motivating each other. You know? And I really feel like that's what we did a really good job of in our teamship was supporting each other. Yeah, we might have frustrations at times, with like putting the Pinjor together and being more direct in how we're doing it, but we're still having fun. We're not counting ourselves out. Sure. And they're seeing a lot of success, with it. So here's a fun question. I wonder after the race if Phil or the cameraman told Nick and Mike where the rope was or where the bracelet was.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think they just leave
I
right
think
away.
I would have been frustrated. I would have wanted to know. I would have
I'd be like,
wanted
show
someone
me right now.
show me. Exactly.
They're like,
Prove to
they're like,
me
look
that
right
there's a bracelet.
now by your foot. Like, ah,
Yeah.
oh man.
Okay, so from there they go, they finish up. Alyssa and Josiah won the leg. I was super
Oh my
excited
gosh.
for them.
And it looked so easy. They just had the most fun, and it looked like effortless, that they were just like on a fun vacation trip. Like they just had it. They were so enjoyable to watch. Like they were so fun, and I'm so happy that their trip,
I know.
amazing.
Marrakesh, Morocco, like that's
Wow.
on our
Wow.
list. One of these days
Now
we're going
he
to check
did
that off.
say he was saying some funny jokes, and I messaged him about it as well. As like, oh my gosh, you need your own show. I'm like, the dad jokes that you're not even a dad that come out of your mouth are so freaking hilarious. And on our group chat of our season 37, you guys, he is so funny. He is hands down the funniest guy on the whole season. But I hopefully now that there's less teams and they show more of each team, they'll show more of him like cracking the jokes and
His
oh,
jokes are
so funny.
too good.
Oh,
Like
he's so funny.
I teased him one time. I was like, I feel like you're using Chat GPT or AI because the stuff you come up with is too good to be like original, like from your brain, you know?
Oh my gosh.
But
And
he's
they're
just
so like sometimes they're so like, how did you even think of that? It's hilarious.
right.
But how does your mind go? Like it's
But
so
you can
funny.
see on the race, it's legit. Like he's
Yeah,
coming up with
it's
all
totally
this
him. Oh, he's
like
so
on his
funny.
own. It's awesome.
So funny.
So we unfortunately I don't have the wheel to spin because I was one of our technical difficulties that got us started
Ah,
late.
dang it.
But we
Well, I'll
do
just do it on my
have
Instagram then.
we had 32 people participate in the guessing of who would
Nice.
win the leg.
Nice.
And 37% of you, 12 out of the 32, actually said Alyssa and Josiah. So super exciting there for that.
That's awesome.
6 people said Carson and Jack, they thought. 5 thought Nick and Mike. Unfortunately, nope, they didn't win. It was the other direction. And 4 people said Brett and Mark. So a good little distribution. I think this is going to get easier but harder as things go on, as there's less and less teams. But it'll kind of be interesting to see how things go. But these were the 12 responses, the people, you know, so we've got Brad, we've got Leslie, we've got Brandy, Marble is in there, Megan, Sean, Tamara,
Candy, that's my
Candy's
cousin.
in there. Yep, your cousin Candy is on there. So yeah, we've got to figure out how to choose a winner since I don't have the wheel.
Well, I think all these people I know on my Instagram. If not, we'll find you. We'll figure it out. We'll find you.
We're gonna spin the wheel once I get it working.
$10.
The issue was I couldn't share the screen. So, oh, you know what? I can still spin it. So let me spin it on my end.
Spin it, and then we just can't see it.
I'll tell you who the winner is.
That's great. And Candy's coming with us on Rim to Rim, by the way. She's hiking with us.
Oh, that's right. So Lori's leading a big group hiking rim to rim in October.
Yes.
So if that's something that you've always wanted to do on your bucket list, yeah, insane.
Grand Canyon.
And we're doing what next week? Oh, here's the winner.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Megan won. She literally had one entry because she follows you on Instagram.
Megan, you lucky son of a gun.
Good job, Megan. Wow.
All right, Megan, let me know what your Venmo is. I'll Venmo you some money. Now that I am loaded, if you guys saw my stories yesterday, I found in the back of my closet my tip money from last year, over $600.
Oh my gosh.
What?
And people were probably like, how did you not know that was missing? Yeah, I don't know, honey. How did we not know $600
I'm
missing?
gonna just plead the fifth.
Are we that wealthy that we just $600?
No, I have the worst memory. I can't remember a dang thing. And I hide stuff. Like when the kids are naughty and I hide their keys or I hide their phone or I hide whatever. And they're like, they do a chore, or whatever, when their punishment is over. And then they're like, okay, can I have my phone back? And I was like, I think it's in this room. It takes me a long time. I'm like, I should just text Scott. This is where I've hidden it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
What you should do. All right. Who did we think was getting eliminated during this leg?
Oh my gosh.
53% of people said Melinda and Erica. 17 responses.
Wild.
And I think that's because we were seeing all of us oldies like leaving, right? You and I left in like 5. Pops left in like 6. I think they thought, well, the last older person was Melinda.
That's a lot, though. That's
they killed it. They had a great episode.
Yeah, they had an amazing episode.
They didn't go home. Han and Holden didn't go home.
Love
Jonathan
it.
and Anna didn't go home despite being stuck in a ditch. Those awesome Bulgarian
Oh,
locals
I love it.
helped them
And who
out.
would have thought putting twigs under? I've never heard of that. Like, I feel like he
Oh,
put that board under, and I'm like, that's what we do here in the snow. Like,
right.
we put the board under, but I was like, twigs, yes.
Yeah. Anything you can get traction with.
Yes, I
So,
love it.
and I love the locals for trying and helping them
Oh,
and getting them out
that was the
finally.
best. It was so
So,
great.
but 3 of you said Nick and Mike, which is the correct answer. So
Okay.
here's the 3. It's Chelsea. It's Candy again, your cousin.
Nice.
And it's Casey. Casey follows you also on Instagram.
Nice. I love it. Thank you guys for
So,
following.
all right, let
Appreciate
me
it.
spin that wheel real quick and we'll see.
If it's Candy, she just gets a discount on the rim to rim
That's right.
charge.
$10 off or
Yeah,
whatever.
every week you
Every
can get
week.
a
Whittle
little
it down.
discount on your.
Oh my gosh, it was Candy. Candy did win.
All right, Candy. So now you don't owe us 400. Now you owe us 3 or whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Yeah. So,
That's
okay.
hilarious. I'll Venmo
Next
you, I'm
week,
kidding.
I don't have a photo. I didn't grab the press photos in time for this, but next week, let's talk real quick. Do you know who got the one with the hay? Who got the episode title? Did you catch it?
I would think it was Nick and Mike, wasn't it?
No,
No?
they
Who
weren't
was
one
it?
with the hay. It wasn't them.
I know, but I thought
Yeah.
that like they
with
always
the whole
say
meditation thing.
motivational Yeah, they always say
Yeah.
motivational things and like, let's be one with this hay and like, let's find this, like trying to
Yep.
work together, which I will say I mean, as frustrated and awful and sad as that was, they still never gave up on the race. They never gave up on each other. They were
Right.
like fighting
Yep.
to the very end. And like, you could just see when they were like, oh, there's Phil. Like you could feel that when they said that, like how devastating that was for them to
Well,
be
they
so
thought they
eliminated.
had been out there for 6 hours. So,
Yeah.
but
Crazy.
who's the other person that's in this at this point who's got that meditative brain about her?
Is it Melinda
No.
and Erica? No, I didn't think so. I don't know. Who
Han.
else did it? Han.
The one that led our yoga session at the monkey
Oh,
sanctuary.
that's true. That is Han. That's
Yeah.
cute.
So Han was the one who got the episode title. So excited for her. But all right, next episode, next week, we're letting Race Brain win. That's the episode title.
Wow.
So they're staying there in Sofia, Bulgaria. So new country. We're gonna get 2 legs.
I love it.
It's gonna be crazy. And it says there's an express pass that's up for grabs. So super exciting.
Oh, with the cold. Yes.
Right. Yep. Someone's gonna walk on hot coals.
Is intense.
Would you do it? Would you walk on hot
for $1
coals
million? Yes, I would do that.
for an express pass?
100%.
100%, right?
Like there's so many challenges, like jumping on the airplane. I have so many friends that are like, oh my gosh, I would never do that. And I go, okay, listen, I'm not going to do that either. But I'll tell you what, if I'm on The Amazing Race and they're like, to win the $1 million, you're going to have to jump out of the airplane.
Yeah.
I am jumping out of the airplane. I promise you that is the last thing on planet Earth I want to do. Literally, I don't ever want to do that. The only reason I would is because Amazing Race said, you better do this. I'm like, okay, I will. Like, you don't have time to, like, bungee jumping. No, thank you. I guarantee you, if I was on The Amazing Race and they said, here is this bridge, like, what was that other couple that had to do it? And she was deathly scared.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember the name. Yeah.
The YouTube, they won. I can't,
Kim and Pin.
Kim, thank you, Kim.
Yep.
Like she absolutely did not want to do that. You have to do it. So you're in letting the race brain. You're letting the race brain like dictate what you're going to do. But
yeah. So someone thinks that could be a Carson and Jack quote. I feel like, haven't they got a quote already? I can't remember. I feel like they do a decent job of distributing.
I know. I do like that.
Titles across teams. So it's not.
But now
always
teams
the same
are like
person,
trickling like it. It's harder to find. I don't know. Is it hard to find quotes? I don't know.
Well, somebody wants to know if they think Jack and Carson will be allowed to go for it, because traditionally it's only one fast forward per team. But guys, this isn't the fast forward. This is express pass. Yeah. This is different. And the rules allow you to go for however many express passes you want. Yeah, Turquoise nailed it. So it's an express pass. So anybody can go for it. I mean, Jonathan and Anna got the express pass last time with the whole Kamari thing, with the hacky sack soccer thing. Like, yeah, anyone can go for it. It's just a matter of, do you want to waste the time to go do it? And it seems like this one is one of those express passes where you're going to a different location. So do you risk putting yourself behind in the leg to get the express pass?
Yeah.
And who knows where you're going to be at, as a result of it. So
it's going to be so good. I can't wait. Can't wait.
So here's a great question. We'll kind of wrap up with this. Can you use an express pass on a U-turn? Absolutely. Like, this was one of the criticisms that Jonathan and Anna were getting nailed for, was they used it on the Rice, when if they had saved it for the U-turn,
Yep.
they would have decimated us. I mean, essentially they
Yeah.
would have sent us home
Yeah.
because they wouldn't have had to do the other detour task. You still have to do one side of the U-turn. You still have to do one detour. You can't
Right.
bypass both.
But then it would
you
have
can
just been
use
us.
it.
Yeah.
You can use the express pass to skip a task.
Yeah.
So that does allow you to kind of do, something with it related to U-turn.
And like, if you like, again, for the Rice, it seemed like it was taxing, but like it was doable. Like jumping out of an airplane, you'd be like, I want to use it for that. Or this U-turn, like double U-turn, I want to use it for that. I don't think they use it as wisely. But again, you don't know what's coming up the next leg or in 2 or 3 legs. Like, so this will be good. I'm excited.
Yeah. Somebody said Jack had the episode title last time. I thought he did. It smells like the desert. I thought that was his, but yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see. But anyways, guys, next week, where are we going to be, honey?
Oh my gosh, we're going to hike Machu Picchu, but we get there on Monday and we have a few days to acclimate. So we don't actually go hiking until Friday.
Yep.
I guess we leave here on Monday. We don't get there till Tuesday night.
Tuesday,
Anyways, we will be able to do a live still at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. I'm not sure if we're going to stick to that time.
Yeah.
Depends on what the time difference is, but we are going to still do a live next week because we're going to watch it, do a live, and then that next morning we are hiking Machu Picchu.
So we're
and I'm
excited.
Pretend I have a pack of wood on my back.
So we're excited because, again, we want to try to do these live Q&As with you guys. We enjoyed this so much, talking about the episode, answering your questions, talking about what theoretically we would have done if we were still in the race. So much fun. And next week, it just so happens to perfectly work out where we're not quite hiking Machu Picchu yet. It's a rest day as we're acclimating. So we're going to be able to hopefully visit you guys from Peru, assuming no technical difficulties like we had today where we got a late start. But
we'll see.
Anyways,
that's okay. That's okay.
Going to be awesome. Love you guys so much. Thanks for tuning in. So excited to talk more about the Amazing Race as things progress. So it's been an awesome season. Can't wait to. Bye.